All right, Enyimba Football Club have been knocked out of the competition, and to throw more light or to review the game is a seasoned sports journalist, director of Ikorodu City. It's Tobi Adepoju, of course, joins us this morning to talk about yesterday's game. Tobi, good morning to you. Welcome to the game.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Tobi Adepoju, lots of Nigerians or sports lovers in Nigeria, on paper or when they looked at the game before it was played, lots of persons did not expect Enyimba to overturn the result. But of course, a lot of persons were hoping that the game would just be a very good, cool game, not having to concede 3 goals to nothing. But Enyimba Football Club conceded 3 yesterday against the Athletic Club. I mean, your reaction on the game played yesterday?
Absolutely. Embarrassing performance from the MPFL champions. Yes, like you said, I also share the same feeling of these fans, of people that believe that Enyimba had no chance against Wydad, home and away, because of our level of football. I mean, and also the facts are very clear. You know, for the past couple of years now, we've always been very poor against North Africans. You know, most times when on the bigger stage on the continent, you know, when we'll get to meet the North Africans, where we usually, fall flat, sometimes lose scandalously, and sometimes a few times we put on a great fight. But so it is really expected for that to progress, at this level because of the football level. But I mean, 4-0 man away, not getting to even score in your home ground, poor performance, general poor performance, unacceptable, performance from the players. Maybe, I don't know, coaching as well, administrative as well. So you put all these things together and then you feel ashamed of what the FF champions pull up, in this kind of like games home and away. I mean, these are the best of clubs in African continent. This is a maiden edition of African League football. And then you're playing I mean, the performance really shambolic. Porous performance, very, very embarrassing. So, I mean, like I said, when we appeared against the North Africans, I don't know, maybe it is fair, maybe it's our poor football structure, maybe it is quality, maybe it is coaching. We're always like the minnows, going to those games. We always expect to see maybe we can pull an upset. But I mean, the performance is not something you can write home about. It's really embarrassing.
All right, really embarrassing, says Tobi. And let's look at the issue now. In the last few years, we've had series of clubs play against the North African side. I remember Rivers United were also trashed by Wydad Athletic Club just about some seasons ago in the CAF Champions League before going to the CAF Confederation Cup. You look at other teams that have played the North African side, same of same. Is either they are trashed or they are knocked out of the competition. How can Nigeria clubs go past the North Africans?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we just have to do the right thing. So the first thing is, invest properly into football. For example, when you go to Morocco, a lot of facilities, a lot of youth football, a lot of players progression, good coaching. So, I mean, in a country where you struggle to get CAF A coaches, leading teams, and then in Morocco, they've already in pro license at CAF level. So, administrative wise, you put all these things together, we are behind. Like I tweeted a few minutes ago, our level now is now to beat South Tome teams, Burundi teams. When you come up against these big boys, you have no chance. Currently, we even lose to Tanzania clubs, we lose to Ghanaian clubs. And I mean, the entire reflection of your league will going to be the reflection on the continent. When you compete in a very good league, when you compete in a very good environment, in a very, a well-structured league, it will show off when you play on the continent. But if you are competing against, poor clubs just like you, looks amateurish, yes, you won't find a chance against these big teams. I mean, and these big teams are not just there because they are there. It is not fluke. I mean, these are people that have got, they pay, one of the biggest wages in Africa. They've got good structures, they've got good facilities, they've got good coaching, they've got good players progression, they've got a lot of investment on youth football. I've been to Morocco several times, and I've said it several times. We know the kind of investment they have in that country. And then anything they achieve on the African continent is a reflection of their investment. So no more shortcut to football. I've said it several times. If you think you want to continue banking on luck, just get into games and we're lucky to win and we'll progress, win titles. I mean, those days it's off. I mean, you need to do the right thing. Right? To even attract that, luck, if there's anything like luck in football. I mean, so it's the days are beyond us. Everyone on the continent have left us behind because they are doing proper investment, because they are investing into their football. They are setting right policies. They are doing implementation. Like I tweeted this morning, I think I disagree to say we don't have quality players on the domestic scene to compete on the African continent. But it is just the way we run our football. I look at recycling of good players, poor players, recycling of coaches. How much is the government or the club owners are investing on a proper structure? So, and then, like I said, at the end of the day, even if you're doing something different and you're competing in a very poor league, it will reflect when you get to the continent. Wydad, Al Ahly are stronger because of the kind of teams they compete with. And then the reason why you see even pyramids, if they come from Egypt, they will still beat us. Even if Asfar from Morocco come from Moroccan league, they will still beat us. A smaller team in Tunisia will still beat us because they are probably competing with one of the best teams, one of the best players on the African continent. So,
All right.
I mean, we can't continue to deceive ourselves and say we're running football this way.
All right. You've talked about what we need to do to get things right in the Nigerian league. But let's look at the possibilities of this happening. How soon do you think this can be done? Because it looks like same thing we've been saying over the past few years. The last time Enyimba won a continental trophy was 2003. I mean, looking at that 2003, 2004, looking at that time till now, I mean, anyone giving birth to at that particular time is no longer a child. When you look at the current state of the years we have, of course, between that time. So how soon or how many years should we be looking at to before these implementations can be done in the Nigerian league?
Absolutely, like you said, Favor. I mean, people like us are get tired of talking because you talk every time and no one is trying to implement this. Implementation is not in the hands of the journalist. We can only highlight the problems and proper solutions, which we are doing on this program. So the implementation is in the hands of the government and the NFF. So, or majorly on the NFF. So NFF needs to agree that we have problems. We have football problems. We have league football problems. Then how do we solve these problems? By highlighting the problems and profile solutions. Pull policies together to get out of this mess, and we start implementing. So the first structure is to ensure that first we stop government to own club football. Then if you don't have the power to stop the government, appoint professionals to run the league, to run these policies and implement the policies. So for example, let's just take it simple. You want every league, every club in the country to have an under 10 team to under 19 team. And however, you as the NFF and the league organizers also create programs for these players. There's a caveat to ensure that these players also progress at the right time. There's a lot of work to bring funding to the league. Then, if you can't push out the government club, they have to ensure they meet the policies. They have to ensure the requirement. Okay, for example, poor pitches all over the country. Why don't you say, if you don't have good pitches to play in Owerri, you will not play in your league? And then if you do it, one governor calls you and said, please, can you allow my team? And they will continue playing. Because, I mean, the implementation is not there. So the NFF needs to understand that we have football problems. It is not even the Super Eagles that they are talking about. How much of sources have we gotten from Super Eagles? Super Falcons are declining every day. Every phase of our football is declining. And that's a fact. But the NFF are not saying it. They cover it, everything with about the Super Eagles. AFCON is next year. Let's see how much we can push. So, okay. I mean, it's really crazy. I mean, it's really also make us, people like us who believe in Nigerian football, sad that we don't have the power to make this implementation. It's in the hands of the NFF. The NFF person needs to understand that we've got big problems on our hands, and they need to put the right policy and implementation and the right people to lead the industry. We can't continue to have politicians lead the league football. I mean, for example, the NNL, people have been preparing for the past 2 months, some certain clubs. And then some clubs, because they believe the league will be postponed, decided not to do anything, and they've not registered. And you are postponing the league because of them, or because you are powerless, or because you don't have or because you don't have the administrator to ensure that these things are being done. I mean, so how can we continue to run football this way? I want to compete on the continent. It's really not going to happen.
All right. We hope that the books of lamentations can be, changed to maybe the books of praises in the next few years. I mean, we can go on and on to talk about the issues of Nigerian football, but I must say that we can only keep the hopes alive towards ensuring we have a better league football in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Tobi Adepoju, for your time.